Hey, how's it going, man? I am just about to start, but I'm gonna run an old favorite of mine, which is deafening silence. Just give me about 2 minutes. I'm gonna post on the Discord, so whoever wants to join us can. Yeah, I think I haven't played deafening silence in quite a while, but I think it can be pretty good right now with the combo decks being Tess, Omnital, and then I think Ant is making a resurgence. So without further ado, uh, yeah, I'm not 100% sure this is what I want to play with, but I think six discard is good at the moment. Only because I expect more show and tell. Uh, I had lost the other day to two, blue green show and tell, or Omnitel, I should say. So discard tends to be better in that matchup. So I'm like somewhat multitasking because I have the Dodger game also on my other screen, but we'll go ahead and start in a minute. Okay, so our opponent is known for playing Belcher, unfortunately. They could be on a real deck, but I kind of recognize Belcher players. I just gotta hope they're not on it right now. We do have the turn to Archon, so that's nice. Okay, so they're on Burn, which is interesting. I think we're just gonna play out our whole hand. We had the turn two Archon, but since we're pretty ahead on board, I just want to hoof on turn three. It doesn't really matter too much what they do here. So that's fine. So that was nice. I think it's a trap to bring in Deafening Silence against Burn because we lose tempo. The card doesn't affect the board. So you just board this almost like a combo matchup, except the Deafening Silence is not good tempo wise. So I just like the uppercase to deal with the Eidolons. So for anybody who follows sports, the Dodgers are up 6-2 right now. So I'm happy about that. The only bad thing is I did see the Astros advance earlier, so I guess cheaters do pay. I mean, don't pay. So Shepard's actually not great in this matchup, so I'm gonna lead with it. Okay. Let's see how we can maximize this. We can go. Actually, so this is nice. We can set up a big Allosaurus Shepherd on turn 3. We also have Decay in case it matters. Uh, I don't think we block here. So the most they can do, I think, is 3. That's 6. Yeah, I don't. I'll take my chances. So this is lethal on board. We would have lost to Double Bolt and Fire Blast, but I think it was worth taking the risk there. Yeah, Jack, agreed. I don't block. Sorry about your A's, by the way. Okay, old favorite of mine. This is the card I'm talking about, Jack. I sorry if it was misleading. I guess I didn't even think about Nettle Sentinel, but I was referring to Deafening Silence. I will play a Reclaimer. Sorry, not Reclaimer. A Nettle list though. If that's what people want, I'm not opposed to that. I just think Reclaimer does a little bit too much, but if people want me to play a Nettle list in the future, I will. But I hate that the Astros won earlier. So the Dodger game is on my other screen. They're up 6-2 at the moment for anybody into baseball. Yeah, I saw on Twitter that Greinke, signaled the pitch and gave up the home run. Hey Tom, how's it going? Glad to join you. Hopefully that means I won't be queuing into you right now. So I'm glad people are tuning in. Yeah. So I guess I did make clear. I wrote on my Discord. I was playing an old favorite of mine. I was referring to deafening silence, but that's funny. That makes sense that you declined it. Thank you, Tom. I that would have been an auto loss for me. I don't know, man. I think Dodge. I'm hoping this could be the year. I'm hoping this could be the year. San Diego's probably our stiffest competition in the NL, and then from the AL, I think the Dream Series would be the Yankees. But I mean, you never know with the Astros if they're cheating again. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I've done it with. So this is the first stream I've done in a while on my own. I was supposed to originally do it with a friend of mine, but it's gonna have to be next week. What do you swap out for Savannah? Um, so I'm only playing Savannah today because I have the deafening silence in the sideboard. But usually I have the ninth fetch. But this is the first stream I was supposed to do. This is the first stream I'm doing in a while because last week I teamed up with Nathan, and the week before that I teamed up with Romario. But Tom, let me know whenever you're free. We'll do a league together. No offense, Jack, but Tom likes his crop rotations. So the main deck I haven't really changed in a while. A lot of people ask me what I would take out for additional shepherds. I think if you wanted to play more shepherds, you could move the collector oop to the sideboard. You can even trim one once upon a time, so you can get up to three. And then if you really want to go four, you can even move the Bajuka box to the sideboard. See, I saved you there, Tom. I told Jack you just want to run crop rotation too much, and then we have a 3-4 crop rotation here. Yeah, Jack's one of my trusted what's the word I'm looking for? Consultants on elves. I think it's still my put pin tweet, but when I won the showcase qualifier, everybody I tagged was were people I consulted the week of leading up to the event. So and Jack was definitely one of them. He convinced me, who originally convinced him, that the second Scavenge Ooze was worth running, given the Lurrus being very popular at the time. Yeah, it's unfortunately a sad state of affairs right now in the U.S. with the pandemic. We haven't handled it well at all, to say the least. Yeah, every time it's funny now. So I have a minor cough at the moment. Hopefully it's nothing. I don't think so because I haven't really been out. But it just worries me like, oh, do I have COVID or whatnot? And for whoever, I mean, this is probably doesn't even need to be said, but if you're not wearing a mask, please do so. Yeah, a lot of people are suffering from cabin fever. I know, being stuck in, especially if you're extroverted. I know myself, I'm introverted, so it's not as big a deal. But I do have friends who are extroverted, and they're just getting very antsy. Yeah, I would have already lost, Tom. There you go. So we're playing Legendary 588. I don't recognize that username at all. Keep. So, general rule of thumb: if you have a payoff spell, I always lead with Green Sun. just because you're rewarded, it's a higher upside. I know, right? The hot takes. So maybe they're on D&T. I hope so. I'd rather play against that than Esperville. The fact that they have the invention leads me to believe that they are on D&T. I get the feeling that D&T players for some reason like that version. Okay. So the fact that they conceded likely means they are on D&T. I would board. Oh, okay, so they conceded. So I gotta thank Tom. This could have been easily 1-1 right now if I had paired into Tom. Instead, it's 2-0 with only playing one game, or not even playing, because we got rewarded with a D&T matchup. For anybody who wants to know what the most lopsided common matchup in Legacy, I think it might be D&T and Elves, given how quick the concession was. There are other people who will concede to me on other decks. I won't say who, but D&T is the one matchup where they will concede to me instead of being player dependent. I vote for GAC versus. Yeah, I can believe that. I'm assuming Depths is pretty favored because of crop rotation. I heard apparently, what is it called? Lands versus Hogak is pretty lopsided too because of Tabernacle. Or sorry, Lands versus Dredge maybe it was? I don't remember. Wait, so Jack, I forget. Are you more A's fan or Giants fan? No Flyers. Yeah, that all makes sense. Like, yeah, the surgical and the. Speaking of which, I'm not running it at the time, but if anybody has seen my latest list posted, it had 2 surgical and 2 ley line, and I gotta give out a shout out to the Depths deck for influencing me on that. So originally I ran 4 ley line or something like that. I like the 2-2 split now because surgical can come in other matchups where ley line isn't as good, such as Doomsday, which is a harder matchup for elves. So this is a snap keep. So one thing I'd recommend for anybody. So this might be the mirror. Okay, it is a mirror. Yeah, I saw basic force and figured what else could it be. For what it's worth, I feel pretty disadvantaged in the mirror. Um, because Shepard is good against beating an Archon, and Nettle Sentinel gives the traditional list probably a half turn extra speed, or they're a half turn faster, I would say. So we got to get lucky here. Oof, that's not it. So the debate here is: do you cycle the glimpse or do you just draw the 1 off the visionary and save for a double glimpse turn? Uh, I think we probably cycle the glimpse. Actually, let me think about that for a second. No, I think I want to save both. Let's see. Okay. So we gotta hope that they don't kill us this turn. I was playing, and hopefully it gets posted in the 5-0 dump. Okay. You go to next step. I was playing one Westvale Abbey earlier this week. It does help in this matchup because it gives a way for me not to lose to Shepard, just aggro me out. Uh, Unfortunately, I'm not running it right now. It was kind of more for fun, but it's actually not the worst. And hopefully it gets posted in the 5.0 dump. We'll see, but uh, I for some reason have never got even a semi spice on Reddit for my card choices for elves, despite adding Luris, Giganta, just random things like that. So maybe that'll change this week. We'll see. So the thing was, I told Jack I think the card is amazing, and then oh shoot, oops. The only thing I started running into a lot of combo, and uh, what I quickly remembered was you need a higher density of cards in the combo matchups. So I whiffed on that. What I'm gonna do here is, because I can't play another one drop, I'm just gonna play the fetch and deck thin. It also makes Reclaimer bigger, which I don't think will matter, but you never know. Okay, there's Nettle. I'm fully expect to be dead here. It's funny, I am wishing that I had the Westvale Abbey here. Okay, I think I'm dead. So that's 16. You can untap one. It's 22. Yeah, I'm dead. Unless they forget the untap. So yeah, 22. I'll go to, yeah. Can't do anything with that. So I am glad I had the Cabal therapy because, like I said, this matchup I feel is not very favorable for me. It used to be slightly unfavorable. Now I think it's very unfavorable with the addition of Shepard. So that Savannah is hurting me right here. But I think we have to keep. So, yeah, you can ask Jack. He's played the Nettle version more lately than I have. Ooh, that's good. That's true. Okay, double Thoughtseize. Interesting. Hmm. That is awkward. I think I just take one Thoughtseize and leave one win condition. It's funny that they led with Nettle. I think that's very dangerous what they did. They could have easily died on turn 2. Alright, so they might be getting greedy here, based on the way they're playing. They might not take the glimpse, which, yeah, which I think is very greedy, but It's a different story. So yeah, Westvale Abbey might be the key to winning back the mirror match. Uh, so life doesn't really matter, I think. So Thoughtseize your Thoughtseize. Sorry, take the heritage. Sorry. For hey Legacy Council, how's it going, Alice? So I'll pass here. Hope to draw a creature. Yeah, that's good. A break is always helpful for recharging. So we before we had 3, 4, 5. Now we have 6 mana to start attacking if need be. So it's kind of interesting because we don't know what their last card is. It's probably not worth. Well, let's see, 2, 3, 4. I wonder if it's a glimpse. I think it's better just. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I was slightly in the lead for a while. I know Tom was taking it easy on me, but now another actually guy from my local store is also in first place with 10 trophies. So what are we afraid of here? I think it's probably a glimpse. It could be a natural hoof, but glimpse is more likely. Nope, empty. Okay. I'll just pass the turn, I guess. Yeah, I don't want to get burnt out too. So I know I won't be, at the top of the leaderboard for too much. Well, at least in a few months because I'm guessing the mocks for my season is gonna be later this year, and at some point when they announce it, I'll probably have to start preparing for it. So I gotta play standard or whatever it ends up being. So that visionary draw was very good for them. Yeah, I kind of want to try depths actually myself, given that it's in the same colors. Uh, I think the gameplay is like quick, but then intricate. Okay, so I am whiffing. Three. Wait, am I 4, 5? Yeah, that's fine. I don't know about that, Tom. Like, I think you win with depth because you're a good player. Oh no, I sense a natural order coming. No, hard card, hard cast hoof, green sun for 8. Yep. Yep. This matchup is not good. So yeah. Oh, speaking of leaderboard, here we go. So yeah, Tom is. I can never beat Tom. I Here he is with 7. He's the trophy leader last season and then a couple seasons prior. I literally would have more trophies right now if I didn't get paired against Tom as much. Uh, and then Mitchell here is ahead of the pack with 10. He plays a couple of things. I don't know what he is on at the moment, but Mitchell I know plays a lot of Stoneblade, and he plays a lot of Maverick. He's a local, so that's how I know who he is. Uh, Max Gilmore pointed out that our LGS has the number one, number two legacy leaderboard right now, which is kind of funny. So he tagged the store Spellhole Games. So shout out to them. So against Blue Decks, I always lead with Once Upon a Time because you never know when they're gonna want to force something. Reclaimer. So here we don't have much action actually besides the host. So I'm gonna leave with a Reclaimer because I want the Green Sun to represent a Elvish Visionary. Yeah, our LGS is. I joke it's very competitive because we have several good players who play here. For anybody who knows, Max also goes to our LGS, as I said earlier. If you guys know who Eddie Zamora is. So, like I said, this Green Sun is going to be saved for Visionary. Yeah, I joke that sometimes I'll play EDH just because I don't want to play Legacy because I want to have a enjoyable night. Yeah, Humans Ewok, that's right. Speaking of humans, they got a new cool addition in Rick from Walking Dead. I don't follow the show myself, but I think that's pretty cool that there's a card that's playable in humans. Okay, so he just forced the visionary. Jace, oof. Okay. Huh. Okay, so maybe I'll try The Walking Dead. I just heard the last few seasons weren't great. I don't know if that's true or not, but maybe it's still worth it. Yeah, oh, my draws have not been very kind to me. So here, I'm gonna bog preemptively because if they have a Snapcasters, that's gonna be backbreaking. I see. Oof. Okay. So that's pretty brutal. I think just like in the old days of Sensei's Divining Top, Terminus followed by Jace. Sorry, Jace with Terminus is probably game ending. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna win this game. I mean, I still think Jace is really good, but it might just be that Jace is good against elves. Something like Teferi doesn't do anything against elves. Oko isn't great either, in my opinion. Speaking of the devil. So, I'll clarify a little bit, I guess. I don't think it's great when you're ahead or you're even, but when you're behind, it tends to be pretty good. So I'll give it Oko some credit, and I am fairly behind at this point. All right, we'll see if we can get this Green Sun through. Probably not though, if I were to guess. Yep. Uh, I think we kind of have to attack and force the block. Yeah, well, it's not so much the Oko I care about. The Jace is what's killing us. Uh, I usually don't like to concede right away, but I might give it a few more turns. We'll see. We're fairly behind. What do you think, chat? Should we concede? I don't want to waste chat's time too. If we think we're just drawing dead, there's that visionary. We're hoping to draw. Yeah. Okay. Let's concede. I agree. Sorry, chat. I don't want to waste time. There you go. All right. So I know I did it pretty fast, but against blue decks, you want Progenitus because unlike maybe a year ago, they have answers now to deal with Archon besides Jace. Oko elks it, Teferi bounces it. The only thing that Archon beats still out of blue decks is Narset, but it's just too risky now, in my opinion. I like Cobalt Pit a lot in the against any Tundra or Underground Sea deck. Yeah, Archon is great against Delver. Sometimes they have the Oko to deal with it, but it's still good in my opinion. I do keep it in against Delver. I go down to one heritage because mana is generally not an issue. I also trim one birch lord because I want to make room for all the thought seizes. Bog is very good. I keep that in. I board out one cradle because the game tends to go long and you don't really want to draw two. Also with Reclaimer you have access to it, so it's pretty consistent still. And then you can get somebody with oof, but I think it's kind of risky. Yeah, agreed. So Bog is really good because it stops their Mystic Sanctuary too. It's good against your Uros, Snapcaster, just randomly good. Okay, so that's not great. Oof. I wish this one of these lands I wish was a creature. It's a virtual modifier already, so I'm gonna mull. This is a lot better. So the question here is what to keep. Sorry, toss back. I think we toss back the Ranger. I like the other cards too much. So sometimes, so the reason why I still leave with Bayou, even though the intent is to reclaim that away at some point, is because if they swords it, you don't want to be stuck with a basic. But the second one should definitely be a basic force. Well, there's a sword we just talked about. So this is a great hand right now. Oh, all right. Good night, man. Take care. Glad you were able to join in. So this is a really good hand because it allows us to lead with Glimpse and then go into Natural Order. Meddling Mage probably names Natural Order to be honest. Maybe Glimpse. Okay, there you go. But the fact that they named Glimpse almost tells me they probably have a Force of Will or Force of Negation in. But you still make them go. You make them have it. Yeah, because then maybe they have a brainstorm and you force them to pitch the brainstorm instead of something down the road, something less irrelevant. I think we just bog here and hope they don't have the Snapcaster. Cannot attack into open mana against these decks, unfortunately, because of Ice Fang. There's also Containment Priest. So our hand wasn't great, or it didn't turn out great. It didn't help to mull too. But I don't. That was a 5 land hand, and I don't think that we win that game regardless. So this is kind of well, actually, they could have back to basics. So we're gonna play it safe. And then eventually we're gonna get our Cabal Pit now. That's the line. Sure. That might be. Might be a Snapcaster coming down to kill the Reclaimer. Or that. I get the feeling they know our list based on the way they're playing. Yep. So that's the respect for the Cabal Pit there. Or at least the respect for the Reclaimer. Okay, they put Urian in their hand. That doesn't really do us anything at the moment, unfortunately, so I'm just going to leave it in hand. So they got to draw 2. Classic Muldrifter. We're probably a little too far behind now. We'll lead with a Shepherd and see what they do. Our route to victory right now is going to involve the Cabal Pit. We're fairly behind, but it's not over. It was just unfortunate because Glimpse is one of the best cards in this matchup, and then to force pressure on opposing counter magic, and then they had the Meddling Mage, and not only that, with force backup for the natural order. So there's Jace. Sure. Yep. So one reason why I would consider playing more Shepherd is blue decks seem to be petrified of that card, and if it can be at least a removal magnet, that might be worth playing more. Ooh, stream cutout. Oh, yeah, I didn't even realize that. Sorry, chat. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Oops, let me see. All right, so it looks like everything's okay now. I was just looking at my stream. I didn't realize it cut out. Okay. So the line here is gonna be to get a fetch, and then the following turn I can fetch out the Cabal Pit. Because we need to hit threshold. Look, come on. So that's my dog playing with his toy. Sure. Luke, come on. So I'll get the Savannah because I know when to pitch it later. So Hoof was actually not a bad draw because it does force my opponent to lose stop. Luke, come on. In hindsight, it would have been better to get the Cabal Pit the previous turn, and then I can use that mana right away. Didn't think that completely through. So now we can go for the Glimpse. So that's a good draw. Because it lets me replay my land drop. We needed not to whiff though. We're finding a Wirewood here. So I don't want to fetch here only because of our life total. And then I'm gonna go ahead and attack. Actually, if they have another Ice Fang, then we lose anyways, so we might as well hold off. We just gotta hope he doesn't have another Ice Fang. There you go. So that's kind of, well, unfortunately we don't have another Shepherd to tutor for to force Craterhoof through. But I think they would have forced the creature, I mean the second Glimpse. Sure, we're at 1. We are at 1. So I'm gonna bounce the Visionary because I think we have to bait out counter magic. Okay, there's another glimpse that helps. Oops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see if they have the counter magic. I don't think we can play around it at this point. Nice. Oh geez. Terminus? Not really something we could have played around, unfortunately. Okay. I think we need to get Temple back, so that's why we need the Birch Lore. Visionary probably is also good because to recover. We already used our water. I mean our Cure Ranger. I guess we could have played our Once Upon a Time too, but I wasn't thinking about that. All right, that's game. So that was kind of rough. It felt like they were one step ahead of us both games, and I'm not sure what we could have done differently. We could have been a little cleaner with the Once Upon a Time using the mana, but I figured we were already losing anyway, so it didn't really play optimally there. So let's see if we can salvage this lead and go 3-2. Okay, so we're playing against Monkeys Can't Cry. They're typically on Doomsday. We don't have much hate for that, unfortunately. And I think we have to keep this hand. The Deafening Silence looks kind of attractive, at least right now. So we lost to the Elf Mirror, and then we lost to Terminus. Even now, Terminus is still the bane of elves. At least Legacy Pit, thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. So we are 2-2 in this league, so not phenomenal, but hopefully we can do better. Here, I think we want to do that. I'm gonna assume I'm putting them on combo, so I want a Reclaimer for Arbor so I can threaten Natural Order for Archon next turn. Yeah, so Preordain is typically a sign that your opponent is on combo, especially off Underground Sea. Okay. So they probably take the Natural Order, yeah. I don't blame them. So this is going to be interesting because now we're going to try to go off with Glimpse on our turn. And we funnily drew the Archon. So we're playing the Arbor preemptively for extra mana off the Cradle. That is kind of funny. So here, um, there's really no reason I think to Reclaimer unless actually Reclaimer here is actually not too bad because you make it a 3-4, and then if I want I can bounce it and then attack for a little bit more. Yeah, let's do that. So now they have to kill us the same turn because 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If they Doomsday here, they're dead the following turn. That's why it's relevant. So we have 5, 6. I th Force would also be bad news. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. I think here we actually lead with the Archon named Sorcery, and the logic for that is we can attack with everybody, so they have less life to play with. Yeah, I think I like that. Archon is equivalent to game as well. Yeah. So if anybody out there, and I mentioned this earlier in the stream, has a way to make Reclaimer better in matchups like this, where Bog isn't great, and I recently 5-0'd with Westmail Abbey because it makes Reclaimer a threat. Yeah, I'm trying. So the old favorite that I'm playing today, David, is Deafening Silence. So that's why we're back on white. It's more for fun than anything else. Also, I think it's decent right now because it has applications against Omnitel, Doomsday Test. It's not good in the mirror, but I think I've already accepted that the mirror is going to be hard for us. I think, am I missing anything? It's probably a little too slow against Oops or Belcher, but if you're on the play, it can win a game. You do have to get lucky game 3 though, because my assumption is we're gonna lose game 1. I had won game 1 against those decks, but it's typically them losing to themselves more than anything else. Opponent is on Doomsday, so I'll keep this. Yes, typically Ethan is on Doomsday. Uh, I think they were on Ant before, so typically some kind of fast combo deck. This is a really strong hand. I wish this Arbor were another land, so we can go turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Oof, which is really good. But not too bad. So they made days here, but I think we're fine with that. Yep. They set themselves back on mana. Um, and if they don't, then you probably in a good shape, in a good spot. Claimer. Oof. Okay. So Ethan's a really good player. They may be playing around Green Sun for Oof. Well, we'll see. We don't really have much of a choice. The good thing about this is because Motos has all the cards sorted, I tend to take a look, and because I'm familiar enough with Doomsday, I try to see what pile I would build given what is left in their exile zone. So if you guys are struggling with this matchup, I would highly recommend you play Doomsday yourself because then you have a better idea of what piles they can and cannot build. So let's take a look. First thing I check for typically is Force of Will. So one Ensnare, interesting. 2, 3. So I think they have one more Force of Will in hand, unless I'm missing something. Oh, sorry. Here's the fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then days they have 1, 2, 3. So either they don't have the fourth day. Let me see. 1 sec. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So let's take a look if there's LED as well. Doesn't look like LEDs in their pile, so I think they're going for Cycle Dasa's Oracle pile. So we may have to just try to go off. There's no Edge of Autumn, so that would be my guess, and I don't see a Street Wreath either. Hey, how's it going, Demosian? We are up a game against Doomsday, but they just stacked their library. I believe they're probably going to win this one, but we have to go for it. So if he's going to go ahead and... Ooh. Okay, so there's the fourth days. So if they're going to... go for that, it might be okay to bring in removal if they're not going to respect the removal. Yeah, so they're not doing an artifact power because they know we have Collector Oof, which is heads up play. We're likely dead though. We're only 2-2 at the moment. We started 2-0, and then we lost to the Mirror and we lost to Yuri in Control. Yeah, so there we go. So that means Abrupt Decay is potentially interesting. I don't think I still want it, but since we have enough cards otherwise. Cabal Pit's too slow. Not too many lands, but I think we keep it because of Thoughtseize. It's only one too many lands, to be honest, too. Oops. I think we take the Brainstorm because them having too many rituals is not particularly great. So they hit land off the top for their Night's Whisper, which is pretty good for them. Decay, that's fine. So we wanted to hit a creature there so we can glimpse. I don't like to glimpse with only one creature. And we're not under a lot of pressure yet. Sure. As we took their brainstorm. Okay, so now they're pondering. If they keep, it's likely we have to go. Like, to try to glimpse next turn, is what I mean. If they force, we're fine with it. I don't like to. We need the card draw off the shepherd instead of leading with it. We definitely lead with the shepherd though if this resolves. That's a really good draw. So now I think we're in a good spot because shepherd's threatening lethal the following turn. So unless they can Doomsday kill the same turn, I think we're doing okay here. Oh jeez. So they did have the Dark Ritual into Doomsday. And if they have another draw spell, well, we did know that they did have the Dark Ritual. But hopefully they don't have another draw spell. Let's take a look at what happened the previous turn. I don't think they have a draw spell, but you never know. Knight's Whisper drew them into a couple of cards, one of which we know is the Doomsday. So let's see what we know from their hand. So they drew the Flusterstorm too, so hopefully there's no... Let's see what's left. Yeah, none of the cards that were there from the beginning other than Days are left. So they're taking a while on their Doomsday, which tells me one of two things. Um, Either one, they realize that they might be dead on board, and they don't actually have the draw spell, or two, they're trying to play around something from us. We had triple green up, but I'm not sure what they could be playing around other than maybe surgical. Okay, so they had the edge of autumn. Yep. So nothing we can do there. Not the best league. We went 2-3 this league. What do you think, chat? Should we run it back? It's 8:30 right now. I'm down to run another league. Just I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and then I'll be right back. Let's see. Wait screen. So I finished the league. Should I play another one now? Well, I know you want me to do more than one league. I'm gonna play just whether I want to talk. Well, I'm not sure if you want. It's not. I would say I have terrible with this game. So thanks for waiting, everyone. So that didn't go too well. I think we'll try another one now. Usually I try to keep it to one stream, one league, but I think we can do better than 2 or 3. I think, right, chat? Okay, 1 second. Let me. Let's try. Should we run the same list back? We didn't really draw our deafening silence, although I don't think it would have mattered, given the losses that we have. Just kind of unfortunate, I think. Let's try the same list. I did advertise that I'm playing deafening silence today. So today's kind of a throwback Thursday. Trying the old deafening silence white splash. That league was promising. We started out 2-0, and then we lost to the Mirror. We lost to Urian Control with Miracles, and then Doomsday. I would say the Mirror and Doomsday are not favorable matchups, while the Urian is supposed to be good, but we can't lose to it. So a quick sports update. At least my team looks like it's gonna advance to the next round. The Dodgers are up 2 games to none against the Padres, and they're up here in Game 3. I have that in my second screen. And the score is 8-2 for those of you curious. They're second and third right now, and the Dodgers are still up at the plate. Also, as always, I'm gonna post this afterwards as well. Um, for anybody who wants to catch it later, can't stay for the entire time and whatnot. So let's see what are some of the other decks doing well right now. Uh, Stoneblade, Turbo Depths, DNT, Doomsday. I don't know what Steve is on. I'm assuming this is Storm. This is Rug Delver with a whale. Delver, Slivers. Usually a Chalice deck. Could be anything. Doomsday. Not sure. Delver usually. Could be anything. Some kind of Green Sun deck. Wordy 333. Unfortunately, that rings a Belcher bell. I hope they're not on Belcher. Oh, Jesus. We're on the play. I think we keep, but I'm not happy about it. Actually, no. I think we want a one drop. One, So I lead with Shepherd, even though I only have one, because I want to be able to accelerate. So if I draw a Birchlord, it's a little bit better mana wise. The other thing it does is if you lead with a symbiote, most people think you're on a bad start. Okay, so that is not what I wanted to, not what I expected to see. Okay. So that's kind of cool, I guess. Seems like a very all-in kind of deck. I'm just gonna go ahead and play my hand here. We're gonna glimpse the following turn. Do we care? So this taps for 2 effectively. Sure, I think we attack. I don't think he'll actually trade. Yeah. So I would imagine they're gonna pitch their core tapper, put 2 more counters on this, and make this make a ton of mana. Yep, there it is. Okay. Oh my goodness. So I think I have to bounce. I think I have to bounce the Reclaimer. So we had kept that opening hand. We would have had turn 2 Visionary, and then turn 3. Who knows, right? Well, I guess that could have been turn 3 Natural Order for Archon, which might have been good here. But we didn't know what they were on. I'm just gonna ho and pass priority. So they're playing Wasteland as well, which is interesting. So that was a really good draw. Unfortunately, they wastelanded us. Oof. I think we're gonna get a Heritage Druid here. It would have been nice to Green Sun for it would have been nice to be able to Green Sun for our Collector Oof, but we were short mana. They have a ton of mana. Ooh. So they're searching for an artifact. Maybe it's a Trinisphere? Ensnaring Bridge, that's fine. We can beat a Ensnaring Bridge with Archon. So we're gonna see our Mystic Forge in sorry, not Mystic, Deafening Silence in action next game to deal with their explosive starts or trying to eke out draw cards with Mystic Forge. Okay, so Inventor's Fair, another one. So I'm curious what they're gonna get here. So there's the Mystic Forge I hinted at. Wow, yeah, that's pretty explosive. Pass, pass, pass. Nope. So their deck kind of auto loses to a Collector Oofs here. We need a Natural Order of Green Sun pretty badly though. For Archon. Sure. So one of the nice things about Archon is being able to beat an ensnaring bridge if I can find it. So their Mystic Forge is still untapped, which is bad for us. That's the key is also very bad. Because that's an additional draw, essentially, with the Forge. Yeah, it would be, but the problem is, I don't have a tutor for it. It's possible I should have held on to the Green Sun, but I need to make sure I have mana because they got Trinisphere or anything like that. And at the time, I only had 2 mana available, so I Green Sun for the Heritage Druid. The funny thing is, I can't even concede because they have Whiff before, like these kind of decks, and then they die the next turn to Natural Order. Or in this case, yeah, it'd be for Archon. The Deafening Silences will be nice though to bring in. I suppose I shouldn't auto you because they have Wasteland. Should we concede, chat? I feel like I'm playing against High Tide here. Actually, that's not true. High Tide I know won't fizzle. They may still fizzle. I wonder if they have. Oh, actually, they should have the Karns as a win condition for the Ballista. But, man. It's not our day today, chat. It's not our day. Alright, that's game now. Actually, against this deck, I think we're almost priced into taking Thoughtseize. So we just want to cut our slower stuff. because they're almost like playing like a combo deck. So I think I can leave one Visionary, one Wirewood. I don't like Cabal there because we're likely to guess wrong here. Yes. So that's really good. Usually they mold to a win condition, so like either Mystic Forge or Karn, and try to get it turn one. I was playing against Nathan Lightfits on this deck before, so that's why I'm slightly familiar with it around. So they all kind of do the same thing here. I forgot what cornucopia it is. I'll take that. So if they wasteland here, we probably lose the game. We dodged the wasteland, guys. Thank goodness. Let's see. They had a monolith that maybe we care about. So they can't ramp. So I vaguely now remember why. That's fine. Um, I cut the deafening silence. It's for situations like this. So the elf mana isn't great, so sometimes you really only want to be in two colors. I had 5-0 before with just green white. The problem is, as long as Dreadhorde Arcanist is legal, you probably still want Abrupt Decay. So they have a lot of mana now, but they need to draw into a payoff spell. And if we can draw into Natural Order or Green Sun, we probably win. Savannah's not bad too. Hey Doug, how's it going, man? This stream hasn't gone too great as far as leagues are concerned, but otherwise I'm doing fine. Ugh. The deck is not cooperating. Yeah, I'm looking for a Green Sun just one time. Their entire deck just gets shut off. I mean, yeah, interesting is one way to put it. It takes a while to win, which is a little frustrating on my side, I guess. I don't actually know. Like the metric for which I go by is can you beat Rug Delver, and I don't know this deck can. Like I see a lot of cool decks, but like I like to think from a competitive standpoint. The benchmark is Rug Delver, and I haven't seen this deck to be fair against Rug Delver, but if yeah, I don't know what's caused this, but this is the second time I've run to the deck in a week. So the first person I saw running this deck was Nathan Lipitz, a good friend of mine. I don't know where he got the list from, but he was the first person I saw on this deck. But now this is the second time. Okay, so that's we're one short, unfortunately. For Archon, two, three, four, five. But Deafening Silence is kind of nice. So we do have Archon next turn, which is Lights Out. We just gotta fade one turn. Um, yeah, Flow True is typically on something with City of Traders or Ancient Tomb. I actually lost to Nathan Lipitz with the Collector Oof in play, Jax. How that happened was he had Karn Scion of Urza out, and he made like five different 5/5s. So that would be the way. Typically, I don't think they can though. Appreciate you hopping in, by the way, Jax. Uh, Ensnaring Bridge. All right, so I'm gonna attack with both, and then play the Archon. So this matchup, or against Chalice decks, or these type of decks in general, are very polarizing. Like I've had situations where I'm way behind, like this game, and you stick an Oof or Archon, they randomly lose. Okay, take care, Jax. I'm glad you're able to tune in for at least a little bit. All right, so Thoughtseize is a little bit iffy because they like to just spill out their hand turn one. I don't know how good, to be honest. Abrupt Decay is in this matchup. Like I don't know what we're gonna be killing, so I think Thoughtseize is probably right. We just hope they don't have the nuts turn one. Trinisphere. I don't know. That's interesting because keep. That's interesting because Jax actually not Jax. Nathan actually boarded in Trinisphere against me, or at least I think he might have tutored for it. Might have been in game one. I don't remember. Sure. Oh, brutal. Brutal. It's been happening to me lately. With Once Upon a Time. Typically, Once Upon a Time is really good, but lately I've been missing a lot. The odds of hitting are very high too. It's like 75%. Maybe a little bit higher than that. I actually hope they wasteland here, but I don't think they will. Oh, So the reason why I cut I what is it called? I discarded once is because we're not gonna get to 2 mana, or it's gonna be a while. So there's a sign of Urza that I just mentioned. There we go. Hmm. So they're probably gonna Ratchet Bomb now. But I think we had to play into the Ratchet Bomb there. I didn't want to play the Deafening Silence and get 3 for 1. Ish. This is not going well. So here they get punished if we draw a natural order. Actually, not true, because this is 6/6 now. So what this league did do for me though is it kind of reinforced the fact that the mana is awkward when you're splashing a second color. So they can keep the Flowing Chalice. I think yeah. In general, unless you really want Deafening Silence. Hey Romero, how's it going, man? Probably not great to have white in the sideboard. All right, so this is a loss. It's been a rough league, chat. I know. I don't know what's going on. So that's the list. Um, we went 2-3 in our first league. We started out 2-0, and then we lost to what did we lose to? The Mirror. We lost, which is unfavorable. We lost to Urian Control, which I think is very favorable. They drew very well. It happens. And our third match was we lost in kind of a close one to Doomsday, where they drew what they needed to in the 2 turns that they had after we thought seized them. So I think none of that is too shocking. All right, 3 more I can catch up. I'm assuming you're referring to the trophies, Romero. You'll catch up soon enough. I don't think I'm gonna get beyond 8 like anytime soon. Let's see. Yeah, so Tom just got one in the meantime. Okay. So they can be on anything, to be honest. I've seen them on Reanimator. I've seen them on Elves. This is not a great hand. I'll probably mulligan. Since yesterday, really? Since the 8th right here. I guess you might be referring to Eastern time. Okay, so this is really not our day. We just mulligan again. Ooh, burn or blue red. Typically here, unless you can get Reclaimer online right away, I like to lead Reclaimer on the bait on the. I don't like to waste fetches because they represent Arbor down the road. So that green stud right now is earmarked for Visionary. Um, it can actually be an Archon too, but that's a little bit more risky. Because we put away the Cradle, that gets us the Arbor with a Reclaimer. So we untap with 3, tap that, that's 4. 4, yeah. So I think we'll do that. Yeah, we'll try to go for the big play. I don't think we're allowed to block here. Mm, 3 lands? Actually, let's do this. Price of Progress does a lot here. Okay, Fire Blast, that's okay. Instant. So here we just gotta dodge 1 turn essentially, because we have Hoof the following turn. I could do more damage, but there's really no point. Hey, how's it going, David? Man, long time. Your Lakers have looked very good, man. Very good. We are doing terrible in this streaming session, but I'm having fun, so it's okay. I'm trying Deafening Silence again, just for those Storm friends of mine. Yeah, so our opponent multi. What did they multi? We both multiplied. Yeah, this is the second time we're playing as Burn in this video in this stream. We won against it last time, but we got our butts kicked against the mirror and a bunch of other things. So I'm just trying to relax now and have fun. Like it's one of those nights so far. Yeah, unfortunately, we kept running into stuff I didn't really want to play against. But I mean, that's part of Magic, right? So this is a really good hand. Just gotta ramp up. I think you proactively get the buy just in case you draw the decay. Makes you a little softer to price of progress, but I don't know if they even leave that in. Since elves can play around it like a good amount. So we have the turn 2 natural order, which is nice. Unless they kill our arbor. Speaking of arbor. Okay, so that's good. Ooh. So I think we're gonna play it safe here. I could glimpse. I think that's a little greedy. Uh, we can't really play around Mindbreak Trap, unfortunately. What's up, Jacob? How's it going, man? So we just, just naturally got the, get it naturally. Got the turn 2. What do we want to pitch here? I think the Arbor. It's okay, Jacob. Like, live and learn, man. You've been kicking butt, so don't worry about it. Uh, I make a lot of mistakes too. A lot of this on stream for everybody to see. All right, so you block. I'm kind of low on life, so we just gotta fade some sorceries. Oof. Okay. So let's see. 5, 6. I think that might be lethal. Actually, it's probably a little short. It's okay, man. You can still use the 40 QPs, your qualifier points for other things. I know, like, I have left a lot of QPs on the table, like, not using them. Yeah, it is bad, I know. We lost to, what did we lose to round 1? It must have been so bad I didn't want to remember it. Let's see. What did we lose to? Oh, that's right. This deck. Mystic Forge type deck. Oops, where did it go? Ooh, ouch. Yeah, usually I don't enter right away unless it's a sealed draft, which I've only done once, I think, or twice. And because I always want to use the QP points up and just turn those into just limited cards. The reason being is I'm definitely afraid of oversleeping because I'm on the West Coast. Yeah, I lost to that deck, unfortunately. I'm now 0-2 lifetime against it. So a card that I know I really like a lot is Once Upon a Time, but for whatever reason, it has not treated me well this league and lately. I hope they don't. Yeah. I think I tend to enjoy these streams better when I don't worry about wins and losses. Just try to have fun. Actually, you know what would be fun? I almost did it today, but I wanted to play Deafening Silence again. To run a stream with the what is it called? To ooh, that smells like a ice fang. The reason not to get a cradle is I don't want to lose to a sweeper. Okay, that's not bad. Uh, I think we just pass. Smells like an ice fang. Yep. So we're setting up for the next turn. We're gonna have a guy's cradle coming out. But oh yeah, the card that I was gonna play tonight was potentially Westvale Abbey. We 5-0 with it recently, but unfortunately there's a lot of combo in League, so I don't know how much. That's fine. Well, it's technically for the combo mirror, but what I quickly realized is you want to have enough density of anti-combo cards too. So it's like give and take, right? I tried to list yesterday with 3 crop rotations and 1 Westvale Abbey, but I quickly realized unless you're facing a graveyard deck, that crop rotation is better off as hard disruption instead of a win condition. Alright, so that smells like removal. Yep. So we have 3 mana available. I think I want to wait 1 turn before I glimpse. I want to see how they respond here. Hmm. So I think we can glimpse here. They kind of have to force this if they have it, given the heritage mana. Yeah, that's a heads up play by them. Yeah, you're right. I should. I don't want to rip off Julian though, but yeah, the glimpse music right now would be pretty awesome. All right, so we whiffed, but that's okay. We're pretty far ahead, and just gotta dodge a sweeper. Jace. Whoa. Okay, that's interesting. I don't think this card actually really does anything against us. I mean, it makes a lot of mana, I guess. Sure. Oh. Click too fast. I meant to bounce. Hmm. So that was unfortunate. They may have the force here. It's unfortunate I didn't get a bounce. I clicked too quickly on the elk. Brutal. Yeah, yeah, that's true. The Giganta thing is not as good. Yeah, sometimes I get like one of my thing flaws. No, I click too quickly. One of the things I need to improve on is one of the things I need to improve on is not clicking over too quickly. I tend to do that when I feel like my opponent's making a lot of slower plays. But we got rewarded. Better lucky than good. But yeah, don't be like me. Make sure you don't accidentally click through things. It would have been kind of heartbreaking we lost because of that. All right, this is a strong hand, I think. I actually really love Thoughtseize as a card because it's great against control. It's great against combo. Um, I would play 7 of them if, or 8 of them if there was a functional reprint. Therapy is nice, but is very scary to bring in against control decks. So the usual lead with the Once Upon a Time. See if they react. Here is interesting because we already have 3 lands. Typically, I try not to pass up Cradle. The fact that Reclaimer can find Cradle, I think we probably keep that. It goes against what I said before about how, in most cases, Cradle's a take. Oh, jeez. That's a Green Sun deck playing Dead of Winter. So, I think we take the Dead of Winter here in case they draw a pitch for the Force. We don't really care about Force. Green Sun is interesting. Let's see what else they drew. Okay, so they drew a second Green Sun, which tells me they. That's interesting. I just think we only care about the Force. So Reclaimer is going to be nice because what it does is if they top deck Earl, we can bog it away. Two. It could be a Gadok T. It's more, yeah. I was thinking more likely Ice Fang. You don't see too many Gadok Ts and Force Wills in the same deck. That's a lot of Thought Seizes. Okay. We take these. I think we probably the Green Sun. And then we're gonna get the Cradle here. Because we know they're gonna kill the Reclaimer. Okay, they're gonna do that instead. That's interesting. We want to leave at least one basic. And we don't need Savannah this matchup. At least three other. The funny thing is, I'm not used to remembering the clause on Ice Fang. I always assume it has Death Touch because against 1/1s it kind of always does. But we can attack the Oko at least one time. So the Ranger we're playing because we want to protect the Arbor down the road. Also, depending what they have, the extra mana could matter. Sure. So that's kind of good for us actually because now we can start attacking it. An Ice Fang in response would be annoying though, which is a very real possibility. Interesting. Okay, so they just wanted something to protect their Oko. That's not bad, I guess. We have unlocked Cabal Pit Threshold now, so that is an option. That's not worth it. Oko does have a high amount of loyalty, so sometimes it's hard to take it down, as evident by this. Okay, that's a little scary that they didn't. Oh, it's because of Abrupt Decay. Let's see what's in their. Let's see what's in their hand that we saw. Yeah, they still have an Abrupt Decay. Man. We are flooding out. I don't even think it's worth it to trade. Yeah, we might as well get the Cabal Pit now. I could have fetched for the body to thin out, but then that strands all our fetches in the future. And we got pretty punished. We don't want them to steal our stuff, so we have to attack now. We kind of flooded out hard here. So they likely have a force, but I don't think they would. Yeah, I think we still go for it. I don't think they would fall for the glimpse bait. Wow, it got through. Alright, now we are in good shape. So Dead of Winter, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a while before they can sweep. There was a chance they had Containment Priest, but we had the Cabal Pit up. So they're on a 2-turn clock. Three now with that. It's ironic, but a naturally drawn bog would be great here. Alright, so they're gonna try to race us. Let's do the math. I think we kill it. We don't need the land anyways. It's happened exactly one time. We go to 7. That's fine. I waited a turn because we want to flood the field. Oh, that's a really good draw. Okay, so we can, let's see. We can have a kill potentially this turn. Hopefully they don't get untapped now with the hoof on the stack. There we go. Yep. So it wasn't pretty, but we got there. It took a while, but our deck finally came out together. Thanks, David. Yeah, I mean, maybe we can salvage this league. We went 2-3 in the first league, which is not great on stream. I'm sorry to let everybody down, but maybe we can get 4-1 here. Also, Spellhold looking pretty good, man. Mitchell at 10. I have 8. Max posted that on Twitter. Normally, I don't stream, and normally I only play one. Usually, I try to stream every Thursday, just to be kind of consistent for everybody. Today kind of worked out too because no NBA finals. Um, and usually it's only one league per stream, but we went 2-3, and I didn't want to, you know, I just got rated too from Legacy Pit, so I wanted to make sure it was worth it for everyone. Uh, this player is typically on some kind of low chalice deck. Normally, I don't like keeping triple cradle hand. I came out one Friday ago, not last Friday, but the Friday before for EDH. It's the first time in a while that I went, so it was nice seeing everybody again. I'll try to come out. I can't come out tomorrow, but either next week or the following week. Tomorrow I have my cousin's what's it called, wedding walkthrough. Okay, there's the chalice we talked about. I'm gonna lead with the cradle because I actually want them to wasteland me. That's a really good draw. And if they don't, then we get rewarded for that draw. So the line now is fetch, arbor, natural order, arbor, kill if they tap out. They play, I know, multiple Plague Engineers. Main deck, I believe. Speaking of Plague Engineer, that's a card that is interesting. Before, everybody only played that as their primary hate. The thing that happened, though, was they realized that Progenitus is a big problem. So a lot of people are... Yeah, a lot of these lists usually run 4 or even 5 colors. It's kind of crazy. Perfect Xaxes because Reclaimer got the boost. So any black deck or white deck, I typically will bring in Cabal Pit now because I'm expecting Engineer and or Containment Priest. These builds usually have both. And like I said, originally they had Plague Engineer, but then they realized that you can easily beat a Plague Engineer because of Natural Order, which it's funny because Eli, I don't know if you're watching or not, but Eli Goings actually asked me like, why do all Elves players try to trim Natural Order from the list? And then I thought about because I tried to trim it too because I thought when Shepard got printed, maybe we don't need Natural Order anymore. The thing is, you just get so many free wins, and in a format like Legacy, it helps a lot to get free wins. It means you can win when your deck doesn't cooperate, or if you're not playing maybe up to the level you can. So I typically board out this way because I shade the elves that are more reliant on critical mass because of Plague Engineer, because I'm expecting it in, which is why I actually don't run more Shepherds too. And Abrupt Decay is just very good, I think, card in general. I don't think Bog is where we want to be in this matchup. It has uses, but uh, typically if they get that kind of thing going, you probably either don't care at the time, or if you do care, you probably already lost. So, David, are you coming out? Have you been? Are you gonna come out soon for Magic? It's funny too because I joked with a good friend of mine, Jax, that it's possible Shepard actually hurt Reclaimer Elves, and the reason being is because the printing of Shepard actually hurt Reclaimer Elves because you're unfavored in the mirror. I'm gonna get a Reclaimer here. You were already slightly unfavored in the mirror, and now with the with the traditional version being really popular again, there's more hate, which ebbs and flows because I think the other version has a harder time beating hate, while the Reclaimer version is fine against it, but nonetheless more hate to deal with. Sure, it Oko doesn't really do anything in my opinion. Okay, so we can go Reclaimer, Reclaimer, Visionary. The other thing that Plague Engineer kind of did that helped elves, I would say, is you don't really see as many toxic deluges anymore, and that's actually one of the ways that you could lose with a Progenitus before. Because Dead of Winter, it was asked earlier how many times have I had my Progenitus killed by a Dead of Winter, and the answer is only one time. Um, the game was kind of unique in the sense that it was like turn 13 or something, so the Progenitus was very late. And props to my opponent in that match for getting there. Okay, so Ashiok is actually very effective against me with a block or two. That's kind of annoying, yeah. Cannot search. The good thing is we do have a Glimpse of Nature. So let's do that. Let's see how deep we can dig with this Glimpse of Nature. So I don't think we care about either. We're gonna go ahead and let them ultimate if they so choose. I don't think they will. Um, I think the only thing that we're afraid of here is um, Plague Engineer because we have lethal next turn. Yeah, I didn't realize people are playing Ashiok now, which is, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, it's good against elves. I'm not sure what else it would be good. What else searches the library at the moment? Oh, it's good against Doomsday. There you go. And Doomsday, I would say it's one of the better combo decks. Its biggest weakness though is Rogue Delver, and that's a really big weakness, unfortunately for them. So the question here is whether to play around anything. Um, they could have a swords, I guess, but you have like a zillion damage. I guess I'll play the Visionary just to see. I could have just played the Arbor, but getting a little sloppy here. I didn't play a third creature because I don't want to get hit by a Mindbreak Trap. Actually, they can hardcast it, to be honest. Just natural. The thing is, like, if you can get into patterns where you recognize things, and not having to think as much helps for saving time and just like not expending energy when you don't need to. So we rebounded kind of nicely so far. We lost to the Dice Factory deck. Essentially, just not. Let's see what happened because I don't remember. I know game one. I think we got chaliced out. Oh yeah, that's right. They had the Ratchet Bomb and we just couldn't deal with any of their stuff. We whiffed out the Once Upon a Time too. Yeah. Let's see. How did game one go? Yeah. I'm curious. What did we not keep? It's. Oops. I'm gonna look what we mulliganed away game one, real quick. Sorry about that, chat. Yeah, it's possible we keep the six. But it's not great. Um. Yeah, it's possible we keep that six, but our five wasn't bad. I like to have a turn one play. It just seems too slow if you don't. So, Chad, do you have any questions about the deck? I think we played it, just as a throwback Thursday today, the Deafening Silence. But for those who were here earlier, you saw how needing to have white mana can be awkward when we really want to just really be primarily mono green with a light black splash. Um, we're kind of lucky because in league we typically can run into Oops or Belcher things like that, and we don't really have protection against those decks in this league, so we got a little bit lucky there. But I think, yeah, this definitely silence. I kind of remember now why I put it down. It was good when I played it before because roughly a year ago when I first started building Reclaimer Elves, um, Ant was at its height, I would say, because Renin 6 was really good. I think Elves was secretly really good. It's just that people didn't unlock the new build yet. And the old build, even I know Jack Kendall did real well with it in the face of Renin 6. It just got a bad reputation because Renin 6 and Plague Engineer were just out from Modern Horizons. But I think Elves was actually well positioned then. And Ant, because of Rug's dominance, it had a good Rug matchup. And with the Deafening Silences, I felt like I had a good Rug matchup and a good Ant matchup. Zed, the Tofat something guy. So this is strangely, I know most people will cringe, but this is actually a keep. The reason being is because I would keep this if this were 6. Collector Oof isn't great, but it's still a 2 mana 2/2 that can randomly win games out of nowhere. So they moved a 5 already. I'm curious what they are thinking about. Alright, so they're probably on Delver. Yep. Uh, See, Mode 5, like, that tells me sometimes people. It's kind of troubling, but they almost like mold to Arcanus, which is not the type of gameplay I enjoy. But what can you do, right? So yeah, the Dodgers have opened up the floodgates now. For anybody still watching the, I have it on my headphone, so I'm multitasking. It's 12-3 now. So I didn't want to trade there in case we, they already. Oh, interesting. Jess got it. I didn't want to trade there in case we draw a Cradle down the road. Also, if we draw an Elf, it makes it significantly better, especially if it's like a Curing Ranger. So they have a flip Delver now, and I think we just lead with the oof. That's fine. Did not get there. Could have waited, but I guess I got a little impatient. I thought for sure they would force, given the board state. Hope that does not come back to bite me now. I slightly miscounted. I thought we had one. We could have played 2 creatures minimum. It does tell us he doesn't have force though. That's really good. So now we can race the Delver actually, which is nice. That's actually huge because they don't get the petty theft. I mean the brazen borrower. They were just saving, unless they were just trying to save 3 damage. Doesn't seem great though. I'm just hoping we don't get punished by the aggressive glimpse that they didn't force. But we are ahead on board, which is nice. And we're just going to run everything in if they continue to attack. If they don't attack, we run everything but the wire win in. Sure. So we have we can hard cast Hoof the following turn. So let's see what happens. I hope they don't have the force though. They'll probably attack, yeah. Top hat, I guess. I was seeing T-O-P-H-A-T with a P-H-A-T one syllable. So I don't think they have the force. Otherwise, they would already have forced. Yep. Whew, we did not get punished there. So this matchup is interesting. I'm tempted to keep it natural order, but which is not something I typically do against Delver. But and the reason being is because I don't think their clock is as fast. But maybe that's wrong. But then I don't want to chance it, so I'm just gonna keep it the same. Yeah, I think I like this. Against Delver, I typically board out the hoof. I don't think you need it. It's a little dicier now because there's Oko and like they could have Teferi in theory for Archon, but Archon being able to shut off Planeswalker is okay, and we still do have the Allosaur Shepherd. They somehow uh, yeah, nice 10-0, Tom. I'm glad to see you did well after not what's it called, not queuing into me. I saw that you had the eighth trophy, so that was pretty sweet. Uh, I have been doing pretty well, so hopefully we can get the since we can recover for the stream. So far we started 0-1 this stream, and now we're at 3-1. If we win this game too, which I'll keep, we would have salvaged the league at 4-1. it's been a pretty fun league so far, I would say. The first I typically don't play second league when I'm streaming, but it was kind of a disaster that first league. In a way where not so much the games were a disaster, but I think it was a little unfortunate that we went 2-3. We had some hard matchups that we didn't catch the lucky side of variance on. Your next league. Nice. So I take it you have 9 trophies now? Oh, that's sweet. All right, so that abrupt decay is huge. It means we don't lose to turn to Arcanus. I think it's kind of crazy that blue decks now have a 2 mana I win card. And I'm not talking about Stoneforge Mystic like it was back in the day. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Tom, I'm not going to catch you now that you passed me. I know I caught up to you with my eighth one and passed you then, but I think that was more fluky than anything else. I really wish this forest was another fetch. And that's actually another reason why I don't like the white. I'm down a fetch now, down from 9 to 8. Because I really want to get Arbor, but then, yeah, this thing happens. And this is why I do not play Assassin's Trophy. This card here. If it weren't for that card, things would be different. But I would consider. But I just think you lose a game if this untaps. And that's actually, I believe, how Delver players are playing against Elves now. They aggressively mulligan to Arcanus. I'm not sure. I'm not personally. I'm not a fan of that kind of magic, but it is what it is. So uh, I don't want to complain about that, but so what I do is I play 40Ks. So if people do want to aggressively mulligan for Arcanus against Elves, they can, but just realize you can go to 5, and then if they have the decay, it's kind of bad. But maybe they think that's the only way they can win otherwise. I'm a little bit afraid of Containment Freeze here. I should have played the land beforehand. That was a slight suboptimal play by me. Oh, jeez. God, a second one. Okay, dang. So I really hope they don't have a removal spell here. But given that they're on Jeskai colors, they probably do. They play like 7 1 mana removal spells, I believe. I'm gonna quad block if they don't have the removal spell. But they likely do. Yep. Yeah, this is kind of I'm not sure what's the best way to deal with this card is, but decay is the that's why I don't go down below 4 decays now. Um, we can hardcast Archon at some point. If we draw Burst Lore, then that would be pretty good. But right now, I think we might be in some trouble. Did we mulligan to start this game? We did not. We have outs. It's just we're falling behind. Arcanus, yeah. Whoa, they didn't attack? Okay, so that's definitely wrong. Let's see what they did. If we green some for 1 here, that's a Birch Lore, so that gives us 3 mana for... We can hard cast the Archon and put it on instant. The riskier play would be to get a Wirewood Symbiote and then try to glimpse off what would have 3, 4, 5 mana available. I think given that they're tapped out here, we go for the Archon before they draw a potential sweeper or worse. Yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't attack. It might have been misclick, to be honest. Instant. So I think the only thing we are scared of here, and I don't think they play it, is Chain Lightning. Actually, did we say Chain Lightning the other game? I don't remember. But I would guess just, yeah, 4 bolts and some kind of some number of STP. So I think the only thing they shouldn't be playing their lands out like that. In case they draw a Brainstorm. It also gives me information now I can just freely block. I think if it were me, I would attack with them. You gotta dig out of that. I don't know if they play Teferi or not, but otherwise this takes over the game. That's pretty good. So I think we got this one in the bag. So they might be conceding here, given the board state. Oops. Oh shit, cancel. Okay, there's no need to keep dragging this out, so I'll just do it now. So yeah, this league turned out good. We lost the first one, but we pulled together to win 8 straight games. So I am thankful for everybody who stayed with me. It was rough in the beginning with that 4-1. Sorry, the first league, but let's go back to the constructed. Okay, I already exited, I guess, the window. Oh, here's the window. So, yeah, we started this league out rough too, and I thought maybe it's one of those nights, and then we rattled off, 4 2-0s in a row. Granted, the last player we played against, I don't know if they misclicked or not, but I think it was obvious that they should have attacked with Arcanus that one turn. No guarantee they draw the Force of Will or what they needed to stop our play, but definitely not irrelevant. Uh, yeah, just curious. Anybody have any thoughts or any questions they want to ask? Let me bring up the deck we played against. The list we played again here. Um, it's the typical list that I've been playing. We didn't run Westvale Abbey for this league, but this October 4th one where we ran Westvale Abbey, that was probably the sweetest one because of how off the grid that card is. But we ran the White Splash again. I don't think it's very good, let me rephrase that. I don't think it's needed right now. And if I can use this Savannah, and let's do this in real time. If I can use the Savannah and play another Verdant, um, cut these, I think that's a lot better. Six discard I think is necessary right now for the show and tell decks. What would I place? What I've been typically running before is like surgical with leyline. So let me do that real quick. So I had something like that where the two therapies were ley lines. Maybe I'll try something like that again. Uh, so I can see something like this maybe. And I got this from the depths actually lists that have been popular because I kind of like that they split between leyline and surgical because you still have a high density for those turn zero decks. But what it does do is leyline is kind of relevant against any Echo of Aeon's deck, so you can bring that in. Whereas surgical doesn't do anything there, and surgical is relevant against Doomsday, which is one of the harder matchups I would say for this deck. Um, they both have their plus and minuses. I ran just all leyline for a while, but um, what I realized too is the decks that fold to leyline, they typically have their answer is either Force of Vigor or Serenity or Reverend Silence, and those cards not only deal with leyline, they deal with all ley lines. So you don't want to be drawing two ley lines against them because they deal with both. If you draw one surgical, one ley line, that's ideal. Let's see. This card is interesting in the sense that I got a little punished by it today. I still think it's very good. Maybe today was just unlucky. I think stream saw like me whiff on it a few times. But what it does do is allows me to keep hands that otherwise would mull. And I think with elves, especially this version, you really want explosive starts. and you don't want to be mulligan because you're still a critical mass deck. So that critical mass part applies to both variants. But the speed is even more relevant in this version because the Nettle build is, generally speaking, half a turn faster. And this build is generally a little more resilient because of Reclaimer. The other thing Reclaimer does, which I think I've mentioned a few times before, but I think it's worth mentioning again. If you like Natural Order because you like free wins, just thinking about Reclaimer and its implications against graveyard decks with main deck Bojuka Bog. A lot of times Euro is a problem card out of fair decks that typically say win target game to if you don't have any pressure. And Reclaimer just does, I think, a lot. The disadvantage, like I said, is you are unfavored in the mirror. So that is if I want to give the argument for both sides. If you are running to the mirror a lot, the Nettle version is probably slightly to medium favored because of Shepherd. Any other questions, chat? The Collector Oof is just to steal games against things like Tests and Dice Factory. We didn't draw it, unfortunately, or the Green Sun, but that's what it's for. I think we got a little unlucky in that matchup. So I think going forward, I may try something closer to this. Just for proof, chat. Here's the card that I've sung the praises recently about. Maybe I'll play it again, just because. I think maybe this on the next stream. I think chat would like seeing this 9/7 Flying Demon out. What do you think? Probably cut one therapy or something. Maybe it's something like that. This is actually the list, by the way, for those curious. That my last 5-0 was with. So it ran the 4 graveyard hate cards, and then it ran the 1 Westvale Abbey, which was actually relevant because I beat elves in the mirror round 5. This does help the mirror, by the way. Let me bring up that screenshot. I think people will like that. Here we go. So this obviously gets blocked, but the 9/7 demon is coming in. And relevant because typically speaking, when both players are hellbent, the player with the Shepherd or the Visionary plus Wirewood wins. So both sides has access to Visionary and Wirewood, but with 4 Shepherd, I would say the Nettle version would be favored without this. You haven't lived till you had this card against Stompy too. They literally have no outs to it. You're gaining 9 a turn, and if you have an untapper, it almost feels like cheating. All right, I think that's it. Unless anybody else has any questions, thanks again for everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead. How do I raid? I think it's like there you go. That work? Nope. Good seeing you again, David. I hope to see you again soon, man. Like, I know we haven't seen each other in person. Oops. One second, chat. I'm gonna get you guys over.